writer of The Atlantic, Ashley Parker. She's also an MSNBC political analyst and chief White House correspondent for the New York Times, Peter Baker. His latest piece is out this morning. It's titled Trump 2.0 heralds an aggressive flexing of power. Why don't you talk about that, Peter? Because that's what most of Washington is talking about right now. What did you find?
Yeah, what I was looking at was how Trump 2.0 represents actually in a couple of ways, some pretty significant ideological shifts, right? A lot of what he's doing, he's done before, are extensions of what he's done before, things he's promised before. But in a couple important ways, we're seeing a different kind of Trump. One, of course, is this slash and burn attack on the federal government. Remember in his first term, Joe, you'll remember this, he wasn't much of a shrink the government kind of conservative. He wasn't doing very much, if anything, to pare back the scope and size of our federal state. Now suddenly they're shuttering agencies without congressional approval. They're sending these young 20-somethings in to agencies left and right to just make wholesale changes and reductions without any input from lawmakers. And on the foreign front, we're seeing a different kind of America first, right? Instead of America first isolationism, we're seeing kind of an America first imperialism. Instead of focusing on things within our borders, he's now focused on expanding our borders. And so this is a different kind of Trump.
Jon Stewart walked onto the Daily Show stage, shaking his head with a smirk as the audience erupted in applause. He adjusted his suit, sighed dramatically, and leaned forward on the desk. Well, folks, here we are. We gave democracy a solid run, almost 250 years, but apparently that was just a beta test because we are officially entering America's Trump monarchy era. That's right, elections, overrated. Checks and balances, boring. Why vote every 4 years when we can just have one guy forever? America, say hello to King Donald I. The audience roared with laughter as a fake image of Trump in royal robes appeared on the screen. But before we dive deeper into the drama, let's take a moment. Quick favor. If you've been enjoying the commentary, hit that subscribe button. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing, and it costs you nothing, but it means everything to us. Great, you clicked it. Thanks so much. Now, let's get back to the chaos. John Oliver, seated beside him, took a sip from his mug before chiming in. John, let's be fair. America loves tradition. And what's more traditional than an actual monarchy? You see, in normal democracies, when a leader loses, they step aside. But not here, no. In Trump's America, losing is just a suggestion. He's like a bad ex who refuses to move out. And now we have an entire political party working overtime to make sure he never has to leave. It's like watching a toddler lose at Candyland and then just declare himself the winner. The audience erupted as Oliver threw up his hands in exasperation. Jon Stewart chuckled, shaking his head. And the craziest part? His supporters love this. Yes, please, rule us forever, Daddy Trump. These are the same people who spent 8 years screaming about Obama being a tyrant because he wore a tan suit. And now, Trump literally says he wants to terminate the Constitution. And they're like, well, but gas was cheaper. What kind of logic is that? I mean, if I had known America was this open to a king, I would have started calling dibs years ago. He leaned back, gesturing wildly as the audience howled. John Oliver leaned forward, tapping the desk. Oh, and let's not forget the family business. If this is a monarchy, we need a royal family. We've got Prince Donald Jr., Duke Eric of Nowhere, and of course, Princess Ivanka, the only one who actually looks like she belongs in a castle. And let's be honest, this is the most Florida-looking royal family in history. It's like if Buckingham Palace had a gift shop selling MAGA visors and all-you-can-eat shrimp. A side-by-side image of the Trump family and the British royal family appeared on the screen, sending the audience into fits of laughter. Jon Stewart sighed, rubbing his temples. John, Trump saw how America reacted to Queen Elizabeth's death and thought, wait a minute, people love a monarchy? I could totally do that. He already has the gold-plated palaces, the ridiculous family drama, the weird obsession with himself. All he's missing is the crown. And let's be honest, Melania's probably bedazzling one for him right now. The audience erupted as a fake image of Melania glue-gunning rhinestones onto a Make America King Again crown flashed on the screen. John Oliver sighed dramatically. And here's the real nightmare scenario. If Trump becomes king, he won't stop there. Oh no! He's going to try to expand his kingdom, make Europe great again. Trump Tower, Buckingham Palace, the United Kingdom of Mar-a-Lago. He'll be out there holding rallies in France, screaming, "I love the Eiffel Tower loves me. Nobody builds a better Eiffel Tower than me." The audience howled as Stewart buried his face in his hands, shaking his head. Jon Stewart sat up, turning serious for a moment. Look, all jokes aside, this is terrifying. We are this close to waking up in a country where King Trump is tweeting executive orders in all caps while Eric Trump holds a scroll that just says laws or whatever. This is not a drill, people. If we don't stop treating democracy like a suggestion, we're going to be swearing allegiance to a guy whose idea of diplomacy is sending rage tweets at 3 a.m. A fake newspaper headline flashed on the screen. Trump declares self-king, demands White House throne, extra Big Mac. John Oliver nodded, looking straight into the camera. Yes, and if we must have a monarchy, at least let's pick a competent royal family, like, I don't know, Beyonce and Jay-Z, Prince? Oh wait, Prince is dead, which only proves how much better he was. He had the decency to die before embarrassing himself on the world stage. The audience roared as Oliver shrugged, raising his mug. Jon Stewart leaned forward, nodding seriously. All right, folks, that's our time. We'll be back after this, assuming we're still allowed to say things on television without Trump's new Ministry of Truth shutting us down. The screen faded to black as the audience gave a standing ovation, and the words "God Save the United States" from itself appeared on the screen.